What's up, everybody? It's Nick from Who Dat Travel. Now, I am in Animal Kingdom right now, and all week I have been trying different neck fans. So I'm going to do a review of all the different neck fans that I bought, and it was about $500 worth of them. And because some of them were really expensive, and others of them were, well, pretty cheap. So we're going to see what works best, and I'm going to divide it into a couple different categories. Number one, the ones like this, which are supposed to be air conditioners, and the other ones just basic neck fans. And we're going to see what does the best, and if you should spend tons of money on things like this one, or if the cheap ones really do best. Stick around to the end to find out which ones I rank best in each category. So we're talking about fans. And of course, one of the most important things about a fan is how much wind they blow, or how fast that air is moving, so it can go ahead and cool you down. Now, a fan is a fan. It's just going to blow the same air that you have around, and so if it's hot air, it's going to blow hot air, but at least it's moving air. But one of the things that we want to do is figure out how much air is moving. So here's an anemometer that has this little fan up here, and it tells me when I put it up to, well, the fan, how fast that air is moving. So I'm going to test each one of these fans to see how fast the air is moving, and we're going to test them on high. We're not going to test them on low and medium and everything else, because let's be honest, if it is warm enough for me to wear one of these things, I need it on high, and I need as much air moving as possible. So first off, we're going to start with this really expensive air conditioning model. Now this is I believe it's the Taurus Coolify 3, and I will link every one of these, even the ones that I don't think did well, down in the bottom of the description. And it's going to be in a shop link to Amazon. That's where I bought all of these. And yes, if you do purchase from them, I do get a small kickback, but it's free to you. So honestly, go ahead and click those. It helps me, and it directs you right to the direct link. Anyway, let's continue to talk about this. This is the most expensive one. I think I spent $249 at the time, and that was, yeah, expensive. So let's talk about this a little bit. Now, it does have these cooling pads, which they're pretty large. There's one right there, and there's another one on this side, and then a cooling pad in the back. And I don't know if you can see that right now, but you can see the water kind of beating up. I have these on full blast right now, because I said if I'm gonna wear this, and I don't know if you can see that, but they're in the hyper mode, which is all the way. So it does have a fan on the bottom here. It's got this fan here and here and here. So there is where your air moves out, but you can kind of notice there's not a lot of opening there. So if I turn on the anemometer here, then I'm going to try to do this live so y'all see it. So that is 59.1 feet per minute. So overall, it's moving a decent amount of air. And then there's one that goes down your back here too. Let's see if we can get a reading on that. And that is moving at 39.4. So it's moving an okay amount of air. On the bottom here, you do have also the USB-C charging, and also your power. And this does have a heater mode too. So it'll do warm air or warm along your neck. Now, this is really, it might be slightly cooler than ambient temperature. So the temperature that's moving around, I think this has a little thermometer on it as well. Let's see if we can't. It is in the 90s right now, so it's saying 84.2. So it might be cooling it just slightly, but it is definitely not, cold air that's blowing out of your car. Overall, it does fit okay. Let's see if we can do this one-handed, because I'm holding the camera with the other. And right now, yeah, I can feel that it's cool, but overall, well, walking around, my neck heats it up very quickly, and the rest of my body, well, it doesn't really cool down at all. I'm definitely still sweating, and overall, yeah, it's nice for the pulse points of my neck, but for me, I have a very large neck. I have a 20-inch neck for my dress shirts. So yeah, I have a large neck, which is nice because that means all of this pushes on my neck. And if I put this on my little guy, well, his neck really doesn't hit most of it. It only hits the back. So your neck size is going to definitely vary, and of how cool this helps you feel. It does, the one down the back is kind of nice. It does feel cooler down my back, and you can kind of move your shirt so it goes down your back a little bit, but unfortunately it hits about yay far down my back and not very much more. So overall, you know, it works, and yeah, we'll wait to the end for the final. The next neck fan in the air conditioning realm is this one. This was a, you know, to be honest, I don't even think it's got a name on it. I will link it below. This one was about $70. You know, the difference between this one and the $250 one is it is a little thinner, and it doesn't have the vent in the back. It does have fans here, but they're, you know, way back here. The other difference is, we'll take it off here, but these ones have 3 of those little cooling pads here, and you can kind of see a little bit of the condensation building up already on them. And then you've got the fans both up and down, but if you notice, there is no fan in the back. So this does have also heating elements as well. So it's got a cooling, if this is the cooling, that there's cooling 1, 2, and 3. Then there's fan 1, 2, and 3. So there is a fan running even right now with it just cooling. This one is probably one of the loudest ones. It also does have the heat here. And then there's 3 versions of heat. But of course right now I don't want the heat. If you hold the power button, it will actually completely turn off. If you don't hold it, this will be on, but no fans or no cooling will be running. Measuring how fast the air is moving here, or how hard that fan blows here. Let's see if we can get a good reading here. This one is kind of difficult to get to, but we will place it here, and if you guys can see that, it was up at 59.1. Wow. Really, the air is not cooled out of here. It is blowing, well, it might be just slightly, but I don't even know if the, I don't think the thermometer on here is going to be sensitive enough to even really tell. It's going up, so yeah, not necessarily cooled, but at least it is some air moving. However, it is on a very, very small portion of your neck. This is charged through USB-C as well. It does take about 2 or 3 hours to charge fully, and I've been getting about a 4-hour range of battery on it. The last one in the air conditioning one, yeah, I know this one really doesn't look like an air conditioning one, but it is. If you see that little cold plate in the middle, this is actually the least expensive version, and it is a 3-speed fan. So again, 1, 2, and 1, 2, 3. And then the little below here, and if you can see, I think you can see it, is a white light right now, and if I push that, that's going to be blue, and that has now turned on this little circle. And in about 15 seconds, you'll see condensation on there. Now, does it cool the air that is moving through the fan? No. Does it allow you to do this and put it on your head? Yes. And really you can kind of put it, you know, on your neck, your pulse points, your forehead, your temples. It really does, it cools down pretty well, but the air doesn't cool anymore. And actually, if you have a competing breeze, I have noticed that the fans kind of stop working and I have to go like that, and then all of a sudden it works again. So, well, let's put this one down and figure out how fast the anemometer moves through it. Or the air moves through it with the anemometer. There we go. All right, so let's see how fast this one's moving. As you can see, this out of the neck ones, or the air conditioning ones, is one of the faster ones at 78.8. And well, it kind of looks like an oscillating fan right now with it setting on the table. All right, so we've talked about all 3 of the air conditioning fans. Now let's go through some of the pros and cons of them. All right, pros and cons of the little handheld one. You know what? I honestly didn't expect that I was really gonna like this one. It's handheld. I don't like a con of it is it's handheld. I don't want to sit here and just do this, you know, all day. And if I'm pushing a stroller, handheld is kind of difficult. So it's really kind of nice to have something around the neck. However, this little part that I can put on my temples really does feel good. It feels good on my neck, but on my forehead, that condensation, that wet, cold water dripping down my forehead, and then with the fan, really does cool me down. So in line, especially when you've got something that's cold, some cold air already, so it's pushing cold air on you rather than the hot air running around Magic Kingdom or any other theme park or even out on a tropical vacation. It really does kind of cool you down. But again, negative, not hands-free. But the positive, it is, well, cheaper. This is the least expensive one. This was about $25. Again, I will link all of this below through Amazon. And overall, I think this little puck here does just as good as the one with the 3, or actually even better than the $250 one. So we'll wait to the end to see which one it wins out overall. Now let's run through some of the pros and cons of the $75 one. Well, overall, these do work. It is nice. Again, I'm only trying these on high. It is hot. But the weird part about this con is these little things get cold enough, and the heat difference between these cold spots and the warm spots almost hurt. It doesn't cool the rest of your body. Con about it as well is it only sits on your neck. There is no other spots, and the fan just really isn't fast enough to really get any really cooling out of the fans. It is also pretty loud. My wife can actually hear it pretty well sitting next to me. So it's kind of difficult to hear other people and what's going on around you because you've got a lot of noise. And really, it gets to the point almost that I can feel the heat. If my neck moves a little over, I can feel the heat from the motors in the different spots of it. So overall, it's, let's sit to the end, and we'll find out which the order is. In the first realm of the non-air conditioning version, so just the neck fan, we have just the kind of blade version, and these are, let me see, a Mito, M-I-T-O. They were just under $20 on Amazon, and overall, they're pretty easy. It's just this little, blade here. There are some of the outlets up here, and of course all the way down through here. Now this is the power button here. There is only 2 settings, high and low, and really we've been finding that they'll last, well, just about 4 to 5 hours on high, of course. So again, USB-C charging, little light to show that they're charged. Overall, really easy, pretty light. I'm not feeling a lot of heat from them. Some of them I feel, like the small fans that I'll review next, I do feel a little bit of heat from the back battery pack. I'm really not feeling those here. But overall, easy to wear and easy to charge, and overall, a pretty decent pair. But hold on for a little later in the video for the pros and cons of them. On the non-air conditioning versions are, well, the ones that you see all the time. These 2 little fans right here that are bendable and adjustable. And really, it's not all that bad. I can actually get them out to my face, which is kind of nice to be able to have air blowing there. But of course, it doesn't blow anything on my neck. There is kind of a larger battery pack here, and let's flip around here. If you can see here, there are 2 buttons. The reason there's 2 buttons is there is a 3-speed fan and also, well, lights. There is 2 different settings for the lights. You have one that it goes through all of them, all the colors, and kind of the fans go different shades, and then there's just kind of the white as well that I've stopped it on here. So yeah, they're really kind of nice. The battery pack's not too terribly large, It does fit on the back of your neck, okay. And then you do have a USB micro or mini micro, I believe it is. So it's not USB-C, so it is a little bit slower, and you got to bring an extra cable. But overall, these have been lasting me about 4 hours. There also is a little section here that you can open up, and well, there's my empty Dole Whip at this point. Anyway, hey, I'm trying to find any way I can to cool down. But these will open up and you can put different scents in them, different oils. I haven't done any of that. These are pretty bendable, so you can actually kind of bend them up and be able to even put them in a pocket. But let's see how fast the air is moving out of it. So let's see here. Oop, just turned off here. So let's turn it back on and let's put it here, and we are getting 78.8. So it is moving pretty fast air-wise. So it does cool you down pretty well. All right, let's head to the pros and cons of the non-air conditioned versions. Let's move on to the least expensive ones and the pros and cons of these. Really, I do love the fact that I can actually get air into my face. It's not just blowing up the side of my head. If I do need something back at my neck, I can move them around. And really, it is pretty comfortable. And I can kind of set them back here so it can get more the back of my head. I can move them like this so I can get the back of my head. And really, this battery pack isn't that terribly heavy. Overall, they're light. They are able to be folded up, and overall, you know what? I'm gonna do the spoiler here. Out of the two, this is way my favorite. These are great to be able to just carry like this around. I still have my hands. And then I will usually put these away into the stroller, or I'll charge them, because there really is only about a 2-3 hour on high limit on these. Plus, little man always wants the lights on, so. But I charge them while I'm in a ride, and then I grab my other little fan here, this one, while I'm inside. And overall, between the two fans, I really do have a winning combination to be able to stay much cooler throughout the day. It really has helped a lot in these record high, well, I'm not sure if they're record, but it is where you're getting actual warnings of how hot it truly is around in these areas of Florida and, well, around the world that we've been lately. Overall, it has kept me a lot cooler and really is a winning combination between the two of them. Do have one last fan that we haven't talked a ton about, and that would be, well, the Stroller fan. Now this again was about $20 on Amazon, and then actually we've had many different fans for the Stroller, and that's why I didn't really, buy a bunch of Stroller fans to test. But this one actually has kind of its cuteness factor, well, not the cutest one in the world. However, it does have a battery pack in the bottom here, and it lasts about 2 hours. 2.5 on high, and it can be ran through USB-C or also can be used to charge things. It has a USB-A there. Overall, it does work pretty well. You can see it's got a clip here. You can clip it to most anything here, down here, and then we can have it right at little man's face here. And it does have 3 different speeds here, and of course, little man thinks that feels great. Actually, wait, does it have 2 or 3 speeds? It has 2 speeds actually. So there it is, and we're gonna grab the anemometer. You can tell little man does like the like the air, and he can bend it around here. We're gonna bend it up here though, so we can show just how fast the air is going. So we got 59.1 coming out. So not as strong as some of the other fans, but definitely is nice because it'll clip, and then we can also even, if little man has one of the other fans, we can clip it up here and point it at ourselves while we are walking with the stroller. Again, another hand-free that does help out a lot. So that was actually, there are 3 speeds. I was correct the first time, not 2. And so at speed 3 is 78.8. So it does get up there with some of the other fastest fans that we have. We have had also one of these Stroller fans, and we actually still have it. However, I'll be honest, it just doesn't really move air. Its cuteness factor, obviously huge, but another drawback is it just uses batteries, and you need a screwdriver to change those batteries. So overall, we really don't like this fan, and would much prefer one of the fans that we got, even though it's not nearly as cute.
If you've made it this far, I thank you, because that has been an amazing amount of information on fans. But let me give you a little bit of just a recap and what I really felt about all of these and what is my ultimate go-to with price being in mind and also how they all worked. Let's break it down within the air conditioning range. Honestly, I would not keep any of them. I didn't. I returned those two that were the $250 one and the $70 one. I returned both of them because they just didn't work. It was blowing warm air. They were bulky. They didn't last long. They didn't make me feel any cooler. The one that actually did was the small white fan with that little dot right in the middle, that air conditioning dot. I kept that one. It is a great one. I like it. The little man likes it. It is very nice to be able to carry in line, and honestly, that little dot in the middle that gets cold, it is nice because you can put it, as I said earlier in the video, on pulse points. You can put it on your forehead. You can just cool down with it that way. And so for, I think it was like $25, it definitely made the keep list. Now for just the regular fan versions, well, honestly, I really like the cheap ones, as I called them. I think they were like $12, the bendy ones with the lights. Now, I really don't need the lights. I don't care about that. I don't need the ability to be able to put scents in them either. I don't care about that. I really care about air moving around and blowing at my face and making me feel cooler. And the combination of when I'm pushing a stroller, those, and then when I'm in line, the other little white fan, that truly, for about, I don't know, $40 total, actually probably even a little less than that, really was a winning combination to me. For the stroller fans, we're getting out of the stroller fans. Little man is old enough to really not need a stroller except at like Disney. And really, we didn't feel the need to keep that because he liked the white fan. But honestly, out of all of the stroller fans that we've had, as I said, we have the little Mickey one. That one just doesn't move air. We had one that I really liked, but it was a proprietary charger, and we lost it somewhere in our travels. And that blue one, honestly, the blue one was really nice. It did move a lot of air. He really did like it. But overall, at his age, the little white one kind of takes the place of a stroller fan. So I hope this video helped you out. And if you've made it to this point, it obviously has. And please hit that thumbs up so other people can be helped through the YouTube algorithm. And also hit the subscribe button and the bell to be notified when I release new content. With that being said, I hope everyone has a great day, and we'll see you real soon. Thanks, everybody.